right by the spring too. Really beautiful place to see that bird.
The southwestern United States contains some of the most dry and arid places in the country. With deserts, cliffs, and plenty of dusty roads, these areas are truly amazing to see. In these places, water is at a premium, and wherever it happens to flow, the greatest number of creatures will be sure to congregate. Today, we're in New Mexico, at a place where running water makes for a green oasis in the middle of an area baked by the sun.
Hey everybody, Derek here from Badgerland Birding. Ryan and I are in New Mexico at Rattle Snake Springs. It's this really awesome area that's especially green, where the rest of it is fairly dry. Looks like an incredible place, and I'm so excited to explore it.
Rattlesnake Springs is located just south of Carlsbad Caverns, and is technically a part of Carlsbad Caverns National Park. Natural springs in the area create a lush riparian habitat, and the crystal clear water flows away from the springs alongside large cottonwood trees. Starting from a picnic area, we immediately found one of the brightest birds in the park, the Vermilion Flycatcher. Vermilion Flycatchers are extremely bright birds of the southern United States and Mexico. They can be identified by their bright red head and underside, brownish gray wings and tail, and brownish gray stripe from the back of their head to their bill, over the eye. Female Vermilion Flycatchers have the same grayish-brown color on their head, back, wings, and tail, but do not share the same vibrant red underside, but rather a cream-colored chest with an orangey belly. Vermilion Flycatchers live year-round in most parts of Mexico, and some parts of Texas, Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico. They winter along the Gulf Coast, from eastern Mexico to southwestern Florida. In summer, some Vermilion Flycatchers make their way into Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and Southern California to breed. These brilliant-looking flycatchers can be found in many different habitats, including parks, deserts, scrubland, forests, and more. As their name would suggest, Vermilion Flycatchers feed mostly on insects, and in typical flycatcher fashion, they will fly from their perch to catch a prey item, and return to the same perch to consume it. In addition to the male Vermilion Flycatchers, females and juveniles were also in the vicinity, showing that this was a successful breeding location for this species.
First lifer for you, Vermilion Flycatcher?
Rattlesnake Springs lifer Vermilion Flycatcher, super bright male, was really awesome to see. Now let's see if there's any other lifers around here. I think there's a lot of birds that we've already gotten in our life in this area, but there's a couple that we can try to pick out that'll be slightly different.
It also looks like the male is with a female over here. So we saw one on the way in, and now there's this other one that's actually paired up. So that's really neat to see as well.
This picnic area proved to be a great place for birds, as we found many different species foraging in the grass and perching up in trees and on railings. Among them were a few lark sparrows, brown-headed cowbirds, and Cassin's kingbirds. We began walking the gravel road toward the spring.
Ooh, it's a little old-style turnstile.
Yep. We're in!
It's an official entrance.
We noticed a clear stream, presumably running away from the spring, and followed it down the road. Along this path, we saw a few different species, including a western wood pewee, a painted bunting, and some other birds that we could only hear.
It's a Bell's Vireo somewhere in here, but it's not wanting to make itself
at the top,
known.
I think. But it's really thick in there, hard to see. Eventually, we did get a glimpse of the Bell's Vireo, but the sheer volume of quick-moving birds and calls was somewhat overwhelming. It's kind of crazy out here. There's so much stuff to see, and it's always kind of a challenge to decide what stuff looks like it's a new bird for you or what stuff you've already seen before. But just coming off of this trail, either side there's stuff just sits up, takes off. So it's really fascinating so far, but also kind of challenging to stay focused because it's hard to know what to look at.
This is also definitely the highest concentration of Vermilion Flycatchers I've ever seen. A couple males, bunch of females, and just calls coming from everywhere. A little oasis almost in the kind of the everything else is brown, and this is the one place that's really green.
We continued on the gravel road toward the spring, spotting a group of wild turkeys along the way. After a short walk, we caught sight of the spring, the reason behind this area's greenery. This is the actual spring that the water is flowing out of, so I'm hoping this will be a good spot because there's actually a little legitimate oasis of water here.
And it's deep, apparently. We can't swim in it.
The spring-fed pond was amazingly clear and filled with largemouth bass and green sunfish. The tall trees around the water proved to be great habitat for calling yellow-breasted chats that we never could get a glimpse of, in addition to an extremely bright bird, aptly named for the time of the year that it is found in the United States, the summer tanager.
Tanager, our second cool red bird of the day. That's a cool one because like whenever you see the summer, you're like, oh, could it be? But like here.
Well, what's funny is you noticed it right away, so it wasn't just like, I think that you're just like, tanager!
Because it looked a little different than the Vermilion, and I know they're around, so. Right by the spring too, really beautiful place to see that bird.
Yeah, definitely. The summer tanager is a strikingly beautiful bird. Males are bright red, females are an olive yellow, and juvenile males can be mixes of the two colors. Summer tanagers winter in South and Central America, as well as in some Caribbean nations. During migration, they make their way through many states in Southern and Central North America. In breeding season, summer tanagers can often be found near deciduous woodlands, but during migration, they turn up in a variety of different places, including parks, beachfronts, and other areas with edge habitat. Summer tanagers are bee and wasp specialists, but also eat other insects and fruits. Nests are cup-shaped, and summer tanagers normally have 1 to 2 broods per year of 3 to 4 eggs each. We took some time to walk around the spring, noticing a few more bird species in the process, including an ash-throated flycatcher, Eurasian collared doves, and a Lucy's warbler. Of course, we also spotted more Vermilion flycatchers.
I was just gonna say you're kind of dressed like a Vermilion flycatcher.
I'm trying to attract the Vermilions.
I think it worked.
Well, this has been amazing to see so many Vermilions, a bird I've never even seen before, and to see so many. It's just like, oh, there's one, there's another one. And it was really cool to get Lucy's warbler as well. So a couple of really neat birds here. I mean, there's actually a lot of really cool birds here, but a lot of them are calling from places we can't quite see. After a few solid hours of birding, we headed out and called it a day.
This was a really awesome stop. Unfortunately, we got to head out for the day because we have some other stuff planned, but even just for the sheer volume of Vermilion flycatchers, it was definitely worth it, and a ton of other cool species.
Yeah, really unique habitat with that little spring oasis drawing in the bird species in a very green area in the middle of what otherwise is a pretty arid environment. Rattlesnake Springs is truly a remarkable place to bird. With a habitat that starkly contrasts the rest of the nearby landscapes, it is a haven for all sorts of bird species. We would love to come back and bird Rattlesnake Springs again the next time we're in New Mexico. But until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Badgerland Birding.